What's up, my reseller friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabrina. I thrift to resell eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. Today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the worst day I've ever had selling on eBay and how eBay's algorithm decided to punish me for it. So a couple days ago, I had 3 things happen all on the same day, and I want to say that these were all within like an hour apart from each other. It was so strange. I offer free returns on my eBay store. Certain items I have buyer pays return, but it just depends on what the item is and how much it weighs. But for the most part, all my items are free returns, and the reason why I do that is because many people will buy something and they'll have buyer's remorse, or they don't like it and they're not going to want to pay for the return shipping back. Or if you don't have returns at all, they want to be able to return it. So they'll open a return on eBay and they will select something that will force the return, like saying that the item's not as described or something like that. So when I have free returns, I'm hoping that people will just be honest and say, oh, I just didn't like them, or they didn't fit me. And for the most part, a lot of people do, but I still get the random item not described. And I typically feel like when that happens, maybe the buyer doesn't realize that I have free returns. I'm not sure. But in this case, it was a pair of jeans, and the reason for the return that they opened was item not as described. And the reason they said that it was not as described is because I said that it was in good pre-owned condition. And the jeans had a little bit of like distress, like at the ankle. You know how like 95% of all used jeans have just a little bit of that distress because it's at the bottom of the pants. But I did show pictures of it, but still they opened up an item not described because of that. But it was as described, and it was very frustrating. But I was just like, whatever, just send it back. It's just one item not described. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Well, an hour later, I get another return open, and this time the buyer says that the item had some damage in it. They did upload some pictures. It was a stuffed animal that was like a backpack, and they showed like on the foot of it, like some of the seam was coming off. I do not remember ever seeing it. It was a new item. I take really good pictures, detailed pictures, and I feel like it was weird that I normally catch stuff like that. But I'm not perfect, and I realized that maybe I did miss it, or maybe it even got damaged in shipping, because I did ship it in a poly bag. I normally ship stuffed animals in poly bags, and I've never had a problem, but maybe this is the one time that I did have a problem with it. But regardless, they opened it up, item damaged, return. 1 hour later, I get another one. You guys don't even know what this felt like for me, to keep seeing these return requests pop up on my phone, like back to back to back. And keep in mind, I don't get a lot of returns open. It's very rare that I get a return. I do get them, but it's rare. And to have all 3 of those come in at once like that, it's heartbreaking. So the third one, this one was 100% my fault. I've talked about it in my other videos that I do this. If you are a frequent viewer, you know that I make this mistake, and I continue to make it. And I wish I could just like slap myself, right? So I did that stupid thing where I switched the labels and I put the wrong label on. I just switched the labels, right, and put them on the wrong packages and sent them out. And these were actually like solid items. Like one was like a $20 plus shipping, and the other one was like a $28 plus shipping item. So this was like about like somewhere between like a $40, $50 value worth of stuff. And the first person that received the item message, they opened a return. I kind of wish they would have just messaged me first. That would have been a lot better. But nonetheless, they opened the return and they took a picture of the item they received that wasn't what they ordered and said, this is not what I ordered. But I knew right away when I saw it that I had also sold that other thing. So I knew right away what I had done. So I right away messaged that buyer. I explained what happened, and then I went and messaged the other buyer and explained what happened. Both were totally cool about it. And I was able to get them both labels to go to the right, send them back to the right places. The problem is the way I print my labels. I print them in bulk, and I keep telling myself I'm not going to do that anymore, and I still do it, and I still make the mistake. So I got all that taken care of, but still I had that third return open, and at that point eBay's algorithm was not happy with me, and I went a whole 24 hours without a single sale. I actually feel like it could have been like a day and a half when I went to send offers, because I knew my sales were like, something was wrong with my eBay store. It was like broken. I went to like see like, well, can I send some offers? And when people are looking at your items and they're liking your items, eBay makes it so that you can send those people offers, right? So if you have a lot of offers to send, then you know that you have a lot of activity going on in your store, that people are looking at your things. But I was not having options to send offers. So that showed me that I was not getting any traffic into my store. And I do go and I look at the eBay statistics that show. I have a theory that that's not very true. But whatever, that's for a whole other video and story. So some of my advice for you is, if you get returns open, do your best to get this situated, get them closed up as soon as possible. Don't have any pending cases open on you. So if someone opens a case, take care of that right away. Having these things, returns and cases on your account, really do hurt you in the algorithm. And I'm not sure if eBay's open about that, if they say it or not, officially say it, but just with my experience, I know this to be true. So it's always a good idea just to be on top of everything and respond to them as quickly as possible. If you fall down a little bit, the faster you can take care of it, the faster you can climb back out of it. So that's just my advice with that. But I was on a Facebook group not too long ago, and I talk a lot of crap about these Facebook videos, the Facebook channels in my video, because they're a very toxic environment. But every once in a while when I'm bored, I go on there and I look around and see what's going on. But I did see a post on there. It's a random post. I did not get permission from this person to share it. However, I think it needs to be shared, because I found this person wrote out a lot of stuff here, and they only got 2 likes from it. Only like 2 people read it and liked it. But there's so much wisdom in this post that I feel like it needed to be shared with other sellers. And it's just something that every seller needs to hear, especially if you're a new seller, and even especially if you are considering having an eBay business that you plan to grow and possibly maybe try to be a full-time seller one day. I'm gonna go ahead and read to you what this person wrote, because I 100% agree with everything that he said here. And I couldn't have said it better myself. He says, unfortunately, most sellers have no idea how fragile our selling accounts are. We walk on a fine line every day between being top-rated sellers and falling below standards. Since our selling privileges are supervised by a computer algorithm, there is no grace. That is so true, because it's not by human people, right? It's that eBay's algorithm saw that I got 3 returns open, and it said that it didn't like that, and they were going to put a little bit of a decrease on my account. The system will allow a seller to fall below standards once and work to regain good standings. The system will allow a seller to fall below standards once and work to regain good standings, but seldom a second slip below standards within a year. May result in a lifetime selling ban. This is an automatic process, and customer service nor their managers has no means to restore accounts. In all my years on eBay since 2000, I have only run across one other seller besides myself that came back from a lifetime selling ban. Sorry if you could hear my husband playing drums. He's got a couple gigs going on, and this was the only time that I could film. So, you just got to work with what you got. I called eBay every month for a year, hoping someone could help me. I was a power seller with 100% positive feedback, doing $4K a month, and a ruptured gallbladder made me late on 9 orders, just 9. I faxed medical records, spoke to managers, nothing worked. The last rep I spoke with shared that they get hundreds of calls a day from sellers who received an email. But once eBay also gets hundreds of new sellers daily, they choose to focus on those. eBay ties our accounts to an individual, so any attempt to use information associated with a banned seller will result in a new account being flagged and taken down. My advice to all sellers is to never ship late. Never allow eBay to get involved in a case that may be found in the customer's favor. Never get emotionally attached to money/sales, and always treat others like you want to be treated. If you treat eBay like a business and not a personal yard sale site, you can go a long ways with it. When it comes to eBay, we need to strive for being the best sellers we can be, so we never make it onto the algorithm's radar. Oh, to you. Such wisdom in that statement. And the moral of the story and the purpose of this video is to let you know that if you have a reselling business, selling on eBay, you do not work for yourself, my friend, unfortunately. I mean, in a way you do, but really you work for eBay, and they can fire you, let you go, punish you, suspend you for any reason that they want. So, if you are planning on making this an actual business, this is just something you have to keep in mind. And you should always have a backup, because if you lose your eBay account, I don't think that you can get unemployment for that. I don't know though. Perhaps there's some way that you can, but I mean, it's stressful. It is stressful. And going from selling a full-time to going part-time and having another job, I can say that this is one stress that I can actually put behind me, because I've always carried this around me, and I just always know, like if I mess up for whatever reason, accidentally, obviously would be accidentally, what am I gonna do? So there was one more thing that I forgot to talk about, and even though this did not hurt my account in any way, it hurt my spirits. And all this happened the same day within just a couple of hours. I got a message from a buyer that had purchased a Disney Loungefly backpack from me. And this was brand new with tags. This actually came from my own personal collection. I never used it, so I decided to sell it. Sold it for about $60 plus shipping. It was a pretty cool sale, and I had sold it a couple weeks ago, and I just got a message from them. So they've had the backpack for at least a week, maybe 2. And they say in the message that I did not disclose some flaws that were on the backpack. And then they uploaded some pictures that showed a whole bunch of scuffing on it. And that was it. She didn't ask for a refund, nothing. And then I responded back. The backpack absolutely did not look that way when I shipped it. Perhaps it got some damage in the mail since, you know, we have been in a heat wave. But nonetheless, go ahead and send it back. I do accept returns. And I just left it at that, and I never heard back from this buyer. And I am 100% sure in this case that the bag did not look like that at all. So I have a theory that she used the bag, damaged it herself, and thought she would message me to try to see if she can get any of her money back for it. That's my theory. Because if she were to return it and I would get it back without any tags or anything like that, what I would do is I would absolutely report this buyer, contact eBay, try to get all my money back. But in the meantime, I would just refund the buyer 50%. Because, like I mentioned before, you really don't want a case to get closed against you because that will hurt your account. So that's pretty much how I would have handled it if it got to that point. It's been about a week now and I haven't heard anything. So I don't know what's going on with that. But that's why it's so important that when somebody messages you something that just doesn't feel right and you know it's not right, always tell them to send it back. Don't just automatically give them a refund, because in a lot of cases, buyers are fishing for refunds and for partial refunds. So yeah, that was all I had to say about that. Anyways, I hope you found this video helpful, useful in any way at all. Remember that hard work will always pay off. God is good. And when you thrift upon a star, all your dreams will come true. I'll see you all in my next video. Have a great week. Bye.